Hey, y'all. This is Jill Woodworth here on the Bustin Out podcast, episode 2, I believe. Really got off to a slow start, but ramping it back up with some thoughts, and we'll see how the thoughts go and what comes after it, because this is really a flow conversation. It will be more deliberate in the future. I just wanted to come on here and set an intention and talk a little bit about what's been going on, because I think what I'm learning from life is that that's what we're here to do, is to learn from life. And of all the spiritual practices that I've tried and still do and respect and think are great tools, the most important one for me is learning from what I'm living through and really engaging with the material of the day in such a way that it becomes its own, well, I don't have to go that deep into it, but that is the premise of why I'm just going to riff on this first podcast. I was on a Lorie Ladd channeling, and gosh, I feel like I have to qualify that for people so they don't turn off the podcast, because there's probably still a percentage out there that might be like, oh my God, she's into that. She's all new age. And if you're in that camp, so be it. It's totally fine. I never saw myself in this camp, and there is no camp because we're all in the same camp anyways. If you want to still sidetrack into the camps, go ahead, because God knows I've sidetracked quite a bit, and I still am in many areas. Sidetrack being a kind of a learning experience that maybe what your mom would say is you could have done better, like you could have done it a little differently, or you shoulda. We're not here to shoulda, coulda. We're here to live, like I said, and I'm going to keep coming back to that. So, sidetrack away. That's what I have to say. And it reminds me of my best friend in college. She was my roommate. She told me she was in therapy and stuff and really working hard, and I remember her talking to me. She was a great, great person to talk to. We vibed, and her life kind of went one way and mine another, but I remember, sharing stuff with her, and she kind of got my situation. She kind of saw me, and she's like, Jill, it's fine not to go into counseling. I think everybody could use some counseling, or you could continue to wander, and she did like that thing with your hand that you can't see me doing, where you weave back and forth like a meandering river. And I remember thinking, okay, I guess I get that. I guess I'm just going to keep wandering, because I don't really want to go to therapy right now. I am not interested in looking on the inside. So, yeah. And I did end up in therapy over the years here and there and whatnot. Definitely have done my share of meandering. But again, it's all living. And even if you're not learning from it, you're still learning from that on some level. And yeah, we all want to make our lives easier and evolve. So that's part of this talking out loud. It's just telling on myself, my meandering thought. Back to the Lorie Ladd platform. I was on this channeling, and she was channeling Patti Page. And I've been on Lorie's group, her Patreon community, for a long time. She's fantastic. She shares, she's so authentic. I think she's so grounded too. It's not practical real life stuff that she talks about, and it's just beautiful. Anyways, she does these channelings. She told us she was channeling Patti Page, this singer from the 1950s. I really didn't know who it was. Not many people did, though some did. She really wanted to come in, Patti Page, and Lorie doesn't really trans channel. She would say they're usually standing in the room, but this individual, this soul came in, spirit came in to Lorie's body, and I watched it, and it was so, I could see her discomfort. I could see her letting go and letting this happen. And my goodness, this spirit just had so much energy to get out and so much to express. Patti Page, that spirit. It was really beautiful. It was a little it was different than other channelings that I've heard, and they're all wonderful. They're all amazing. So I wanted to share that channeling because it really struck me, not just the way that it came in, but what she actually said, which was, she would say, so basic. Her basic message was, find the extraordinary in the ordinary and live your life. You're so lucky and blessed. Don't take for granted. I hate to use lucky. I don't hate to hate, but whatever. I think you get it. We're so blessed, and we don't know it, to be in the human form and to look at a tree, to cry tears, to feel heartbreak, to feel all the hard things, the jealousy, the anger, the rage, the joy, the bliss, the orgasms, the depression, the grief, all of it. And she went on about that, and I think I'm going to play it when I get done rapping for quite a while, and there was a lot more to it, but that has been such an important theme for me. And it's funny, as I look back over my life, I see the incidents of that and how that kind of pulled me through in many ways. I think when we have a lot of challenges, find the silver lining, but not repress the experience that you're having, but also knowing that it's just an experience. It's not who you are. And there's going to be all kinds of other experiences, and not bracing for one and like just always craving another. And that's a process. So it's like a discussion I have with my friend. You know, she was sharing some challenges she's having with stuff. And that's what Lisa and I do. We talk about our challenges. We've been friends for a long time and podcasted together, and she sees me, and I hope I see her. And anyways, she was talking about what she's dealing with. But then she pointed out like these really positive things, you know, that she was looking forward to in her job at working with kids in a school. It was just really beautiful. It's like, that's just it. You have to just walk through it with the hole in your heart while it's there, and not push it down and suppress it, and take the baby steps and do it a day at a time, and find those extraordinary hugs. Or it's extraordinary that she gets to feel this. And she probably doesn't think that right now. And I don't think a lot of things that I'm going through are extraordinary to feel. I'm not trying to sound all like loving, like it's not painful, because it is. And all I'm saying is this struck me deep. And I hope it is what it is, and it's going to hit you however it hits you. And I'm going to keep developing the podcast is the other thing I want to say. Having guests on and discussing various topics of interest that that are just not part of the programming. Of course, they're going to have layers of programming in them, but kind of getting away from it and talking about the ways that we're getting away from following the programming, and not comparing or being like, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way. In the spiritual community, there's a lot of righteousness too about practices, and how you know, it's like this egoic thing that is really from a beautiful place, but it's still there. And so, and I have it too. And that's just it, calling each other out. Maybe we'll have arguments, but really opening up the space for heart-centered and not heart-centered, for whatever happens in the space with me sharing and with the people that come into the space. And that's what I love to do, is kind of bear witness with the space, with non-judgment. And I'm not saying I don't have judgment, but I can hold that high space for you to come in and just let it rip, because gosh darn, I feel like I've just experienced so much of darkness, you know, and what we would call more negative, which really isn't, a lot of really harsh lessons. So, and so many people have, but those are the beautiful jewels. So I'm going to stop talking and let Patti Page, I think she sang, "How much is that doggy in the window?" I'm pretty sure she did. So, over and out. Bust out.
Thank you for letting me come in. Thank you for letting me come in. Thank you for letting me come in. No one ever lets me come in. No one ever lets me come in. No one lets me come into their space. No one lets me move through them. Nobody lets me speak. Nobody ever brings me in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where do I begin? Where do I start? And let me relax, let me relax, let me relax. Hello, everyone. Many of you don't know me. I was a big name. I was a big force. I took up stages. But the fact that I get to be with you right here, right now is the biggest honor. The gift of being alive, the gift of being in the physical form, the gift of breath, the gift of physicality, the gift that everybody forgets while they are living in the gift. The gift, the gift. What you guys all forget. Every moment that I have an opportunity to squeeze back down into this physical form to communicate with the ones that have forgotten, I try. And what an honor that Lorie has allowed me in. We're also very familiar with the knowingness that Lorie doesn't usually let a spirit or an energy come into her body, very uncomfortable with that. And so the honor that it is me, I didn't really give her a choice. I forced into her body. She resisted, but I am here. And my message is simple for all of you tonight. My message is to see the gift in the life that you're living. To recognize the gift in the life that you still have left. To recognize that although so many sayings move in and out of your mind, that life is happening in a blink of an eye. Life is over before you know it. Live life. You see these phrases, you hear these phrases. I need you to embody this. Embody it. Look around. Look around at who you are with right now. Look around at who you are surrounded by in your life. And recognize the gratitude of the physical experience to be with those that you are with. To love those of you that you love. And those of you that you have loved. To sing when you have the opportunity, to dance when you have the opportunity, to shout when you have the opportunity, to cry when you have the opportunity, to get angry when you have the opportunity, to be kind when you have the opportunity, to keep opening to life over and over and over until you take your last breath. To recognize that life is not doing anything to you. Life is giving you life. Life is happening for you. Life is happening for you. There are no mistakes. There are no accidents. You didn't mess anything up in your lifetime. And you can start again, new, fresh. In every moment, you start new. Every moment is a new opportunity. Who are you embracing? Who do you want to embrace? What do you want to say? What are you done silencing in your life? What are you afraid of that you're not doing or being or feeling? Every feeling is the greatest gift. That's life. Every smell, every touch, every taste. Humans wait until it's over to fully understand and appreciate life. You have the opportunity now. You have the opportunity right now. One of the greatest gifts that I learned as I was getting older is how I took my life for granted. I took my money for granted, my fame for granted, my opportunity for granted. I took everything for granted until it was too late. And I was jaded, and I was scarred, and I was angry. And I left the planet in that anger. And it wasn't until I was out of my physical body that I realized what I had, what I was able to experience, the absolute magnificence and beauty of life, of the physical world that you stand in right now, that I promise you, you will miss. Isn't that what all of us say when we come in? Isn't this what we all remind you over and over? It's like a repeated record. You will miss this when you are gone. Devour it now. Say what you need to say. Love the way you need to love. See life the way it wants to be seen. Appreciate the small things. Breathe. Take in each breath. Recognize the miraculousness of the fact that there is a body that you are in that is breathing life into you right now. That there is a pain that their humanity is breathing in. An anger, a hate, a greed, a lack. And what humanity does is they grab those and they hold them and they anchor them in. And that is the only thing they focus on. And there is so much more beyond the grasp of what you don't want to see, the grasp of what you don't want to feel, the grasp of what you don't want to be in. Humans kick and scream. They have temper tantrums over what they don't want to be in, what they don't want to feel, what they don't want to see, what they want to be different, what they want to change. And meanwhile, the gift of life is right in front of them. Right now. Humans think they have to change the world in order to feel this gift. That things have to look a certain way, sound a certain way, even feel a certain way. Not true. Nothing needs to change for you to see the gift of life right now. Nothing needs to change in order for you to recognize the power of love, the power of meeting somebody eye to eye and allowing them to be who they are. Even if it means you don't get along, even if it means you separate, even if it means that you feel what you feel when you're side by side with them. The gift of life gifts you with all of this. Life is asking you to open the focus. Open your focus. Every moment that you get caught up in the fear, in the restriction, in the what ifs, in the I can'ts, I should, I shouldn't. Can you also say, this is the gift of life? Life is a gift. Why do you think we all come down to tell you this? Why do you think it's the one thing that is the most difficult for humans to remember? Because it's the most powerful. It's recognizing the extraordinary and the absolute ordinary. It's recognizing that there's no money, there's no house, there's no vacation, there's no person, there's nothing that can drop you into the absolute awareness of the magic of life other than the lens of seeing it. That's it. Everything else is fun. Everything else is extras. None of it brings you to seeing the gift. None of it. If you knew that today was your last day, what would you do? What would you say? How would you feel? How would you be? When you walked outside, would you look around and see it just a tad bit differently? Would you smell just a tad bit more? Would you love a little bit harder? Would you have taken more risks? I understand that humanity is moving through a very physical transformation. I understand that I'm not down there right now. And I understand that the intensity of what all of you are feeling right now is much more magnified than I was down there. But I know that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're feeling, the same is true for all of us. That life is gifting you. Life is gifting you right now. You can say there's too much fear. You can say there's too much hatred. You can say there's too much divide. You can say there's too much anger. You can say there's too much anxiety. You can say there's too much loneliness. You can say all of the record playing that you want. We've all heard it. We've all listened. Or you can throw the record player out and choose something new. You're not handcuffed to any of that. You're not stuck. Every moment is a choice. Every single moment that you have is a choice. How are you seeing your world right now? Even as I'm speaking to you and you look around your room, your office, your house, outside in nature, how are you seeing it? Do you see it through the lens of, same old, same old? Or can you see it as if this is the last time you will ever see it? What if it was? How would you use the lens? How would you see it? And you can say, well, Patti, I'm going to be here for a very long time. It doesn't matter. I can practice that later. How do you know? And why not now? The sweetest gift is to see life through that lens, is to pick up your glass that's holding your tea and say, oh my God, this is the most miraculous cup of tea I've ever seen. It's to recognize that you're in pain or sadness or anger and say, oh my God, this is the most miraculous feeling I'm alive. To recognize that you're moving your body and what a miraculous gift that is. To recognize that every day you walk into your house and you have a loved one that's waiting for you, that wants to hear what you have to say. What a gift. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is guaranteed. And the world is going to have you spinning around in circles, disoriented, confused, distracted. And I say, choose to look at your life right now through the lens of life is the gift. And maybe you look back at your life, even in this moment right now, in awe of what you've gone through, proud of what you've done, not proud of what you've done. And you recognize no matter what, it was a gift. You lived. You're experiencing life. You don't even realize. What a silly, funny thing it is that when we are in the most preciousness of gifts, when we are in physical reality, we don't realize. I don't have any fantastic recognitions of what's coming for humanity. It doesn't matter to me. I don't have any thought-provoking that will drop you into some quantum field. I have the most simple yet profound and transformational message. This is your one and only life. This is it. This is all you have. Every feeling is an opportunity. Every thought is a curiosity. Every behavior is a bewilderment. Every relationship is magic. Every interaction. Do you realize what a gift it is to see animals? You understand that? You forget. Animals. Different creatures than you that can't speak, that look you in the eyes and can converse with you without speaking. You understand the power of flowers and the way they open and close, or the insanely magical way that fruit grows from a tree, the way that ants live in the farms that they live in, the families that they live in. Where is your childlike awe? Grab it. Keep grabbing it. Because life will try to take you down. Life will try to suffocate you. Life will try to make you believe that you have no choice, that suffering is your natural state, that you just have to figure out how to survive, that you just try to get through the day. Meanwhile, magic is happening all around you. Miracles are happening every moment all around you. The fact that I can come into this physical body and communicate through this most miraculous screen, and hundreds of you all around the world are hearing me, is mind-blowing. I love it. I wish I had more opportunity to shout my messages out to humanity over and over and over on repeat until I am muted. I don't get this chance. Most humans don't bring me in. Please share this message. Share it, even though it is mundane and ordinary. It is absolutely extraordinary. This message from this loud country singer that graced the planet at some time and took every moment of her life for granted is gifting you with this ability to not leave this planet the way I did. You don't need to try to figure out what's coming in the future, what sort of manipulation is happening with your governments, what you have to protect yourself from. Whether aliens are coming down or not, where you're originally from, how to get rid of trauma, all the things that we do as humans. Tell you right now, none of that matters. What matters is who's by your side right now. What matters is how deeply you love yourself. What matters is how you can see the world, the magic of the world, the colors. What matters is that you appreciate other humans, that you appreciate animals, that you appreciate life. What matters is that you wake up every morning, even in anxiety, and you say, oh my God, I have another day. What matters is that you allow yourself to feel and break down and cry. And you realize in those moments, this is life gifting you life. You realize in those moments that there will be a moment where you will not be feeling this because you will not be in the physical body any longer. And is it really going to matter what's coming in the future? Is it really going to matter how horrific your governments are? Is it really going to matter how poisoned you are? And I know all kinds of different spirits have come in. How do I know? Because I have raised my hand when Lorie opens up the door for spirit to come in. I have been standing in line. I have watched all the amazing spirits come in and speak to you with so many different messages. Finally, it's my turn. Find the extraordinary in the ordinary. That's it. Maybe not as entertaining, but more life-changing. Every moment that you beat yourself up, you get down on yourself, You feel unworthy, unseen, alone, afraid, unsure, anxious, stressed, full of lack. I don't know, the list goes on and on. Every moment that you feel those things, I hope you hear my voice. I hope my voice rings through and you remember that life is a gift. This is the gift. You ask yourself, can I see the extraordinary in the ordinary? And you say to yourself, can I remember there will be a moment where I will not be in the physical form? And every single one of you that says, it's okay, I'd rather not be here. It's not true. Trust me. When you realize there's no more opportunity to maybe go back down and participate, when it's completely done, you will understand what I'm saying. May you understand it now. Nobody's going to bring you peace. Nothing needs to change to bring you peace. No feeling needs to be felt to bring you peace. No thought needs to be thought to bring you peace. No amount of money in your bank account can bring you peace. Seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary brings you peace. Changes your entire life. I wish I was here still in the body. I wish I could converse with all of you. I wish I could ask you questions and you ask me questions. I truly wish I was back in, and incarnation is always available. And I can always go back in. But as soul, as spirit, as God, I recognize the preciousness of this last human life I had. And I hope and I pray that you recognize the preciousness of this life that you're living right now. Love a little harder. Tell the people in your life how much you love them. Honor the differences. Laugh even more. Look up at the sky. Be. See the extraordinary in the ordinary. and share my message, because it's really hard to get in here and share it. Thanks for letting me be here with all of you. Grateful that Lorie let me into her physical body. Literally, I took over. Grateful. I will leave now, but I won't ever leave. You will hear my voice ringing through your ears for days and months and hopefully years to come. May you never forget me and the message that I have shared.
Thank you so much for listening. I did want to make one addition, and that is to let you know that I had explicit permission from Lorie Ladd to repurpose and share the channeling from Patti Page. And if you're looking for any information on working with me or to contact me, check out the notes in the description. And keep busting out of your boxes, your grids, your preconceived notions, and your programmings. And I'll see you next time.